Deep, deep, deep in the mystical azabeth forest, high on the slope of Howland Hill, there is a magnificent ancient oak tree, so high and wide that when you stand at the bottom of it, you can't quite see the top. Nobody knows how many generations of bears have called it their home. And it was here one May morning 9 sweet, fluffy baby bears were born. Now, I know 9 sounds like rather a lot of babies all at once, but they were all triplets, you see. Born to Griselda, Gertrude, and Drusilla, the grown-up children of old Grandma Bear. Grandpa Bear and the daddies, Griswold, Grilbert, and Grumphrey, had gone off on their annual fishing trip, as is the way with bears. But Grandma and the moms were delighted with all of the babies, who got bigger and bouncier and fluffier and funnier every day. Like most moms, they were rather tired because, as you can imagine, with 9 wriggly, curious babies to keep fed, watered, and cozy, there was a lot of work to be done. Sometimes those moms were so desperately tired that they even fell asleep drinking their cups of coffee in the mornings, or their cups of tea in the afternoons, or their cups of cocoa in the evenings. It was this tendency to napfulness that led to so many of the adventures, because to little bears bursting with curiosity, the very sights, sounds, smells, tastes, and touches of life can be so interesting. And whatever is interesting must be investigated. These were bright summer mornings, with an adventure starting before breakfast every day. After breakfast, the little bears always did their best to help with the chores, but everything looks like fun and games to little bears. So in the end, they were never really much help, and before long, the moms would sit them down by the foot of Gran's rocking chair to hear the tales of the forest and the lore of the bears. Afternoons were for exploring. The delicious scents of the forest danced about their noses, tempting them to follow to the blueberry patch, where they gobbled a handy snack before beginning that day's trip. On each new journey, they all found new wonders, and soon they knew every part of the forest from Howland Hill to Fuller's Vale and Wildflower Meadow. And as they did, each little bear found one special thing that he or she liked best. They would wander along Butter Bubble Brook as it sang its silvery song all the way to Muddy Puddle Pond. Flo would try to catch minnows. May, Jay, and Faye would try to smell the flowers the way the butterflies do. Ross, Joss, and Floss would try to see who could balance best on the log bridge. Mo and Flo were expert at hopping from one rock to the next across the stream. Then they would hear the dinner gong and all rush home, where they would all need a good washing. After dinner, 9 dozy little bears, all tucked cozily in their baskets, were asleep before Gran finished their story. So the summer passed, and the grass on Howland Hill grew tall, and the little bears grew bigger and bouncier. And they discovered something all bears love: climbing. Now that they were older, each little bear got his or her own room nestled up in the branches of the great oak, and each room opened onto a branch on the outside. Now and again, they would pause from their games to try to see the daddies on their way home. The chill north wind began to blow stronger now, and the color of the leaves grew richer and brighter. The little bears were now looking forward to the great Yawning Festival and thrilled to the new smells that filled the forest: apple, hazelnut, pear, and blackberry. But when they got to the bottom of Howland Hill, they were met by a sight that stopped them in their tracks. The wind had blown almost all the leaves from the great oak and most of the other trees. The trees will have lost their beautiful coats, sobbed May, and they will be so cold now that the frosty north wind is blowing. Let's go tell Gran. She will be able to help them, said Flo. As the little bears came stumbling into the kitchen, Gran and the moms were taken aback. How sad they all looked. It's the poor cold trees. They won't be able to keep warm in the cold north wind, and we love those trees. Oh, you dear little bears, don't be sad. Come and sit by the fireplace, and I'll tell you all about it. It's all part of the great dance of the year. The trees offer us breezy shade when they swing and sway in their green coats in the summer. When the wind blows wilder, their coats turn every shade of gladness for a good autumn dance. But by then, they are getting tired, and the leaves turn blankety brown and dry and fall off, dancing down to the good earth when their jobs are finished. All of the spirit of the tree sinks down into the trunks and roots for a deep winter rest. Then, in the spring, when the rays of sunshine grow warmer, the spirits of tree goodness rise up the trunks and branches, and before you can sneeze hello, the whole earth joins in making the mudlylicious smells of spring, and new buds start popping through everywhere, ready for the great dance of the year to begin again. A winter's sleep does trees and bears a great deal of good, giving us all time to rest and stretch bigger and stronger. Now, if I can find 9 little spoons... Wahoo! They all froze listening, and again they heard... Wahoo! It's the daddies! And in a moment, they were all starting down the hill. Wahoo! Wahoo! Oh, oh, oh. I like the flowers, I like the daffodils, I like the mountains, I like the rolling hills, I like the fireside when the lights are low. Boom-de-yada, 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 boom-de-yada. Everyone rushed into a bundle of hugs. We got some big fish, said Griswold. And we're ready to do the cooking, said Grumphrey. And the washing up, said Gilbert. Are you little bears ready for the great Yawning Festival, said Grandpa. Yes, yelled the little bears. Hooray, cheered Gran and the moms. And off they all went. Everyone got busy, bringing wood to the fire pit, hanging the lanterns, and laying the dishes on the long table. All bears, big and small, had a wash and brush down to look their best, and the delicious smell of the fish made every nose twitch with delight. Can we eat now? Said Rose. Almost, said Griswold. But first we have, said Grumphrey. A surprise, said Grilbert as he stepped from the door, showing 9 little presents set out on the hearth. The little bears all looked amazed for a moment when Floss shouted, "Presents!" And with a leap, they all raced in to open their gifts, each bear finding a cute little teddy and a cozy warm hat in their own favorite color. "Now can we eat?" said Ross. "Almost," said Gran, and at that all 9 little bears ran out the door, jumped up onto the bench, and slid to their places. Gran joined Grandpa at the end of the table. "Welcome back, Daddies and Grandpa, and happy yawning." "Thanks, dear, and thanks, Moms, and all you little bears for making this the best yawning festival ever. Hooray!" Hooray! They all shouted, and the sound echoed far and wide. "Now you can eat." And eat they did. The platters of fish, carrot casserole, candied watermelon, and sweet potato pie made way for bowls of applesauce and the towering butternut cake. They ate as only bears at Yawning Festival can, stopping only to laugh and dance, and then eat some more. And as they did, they grew sleepier and sleepier. Joss was so sleepy he almost fell into the last bit of his cake, but Floss caught him just in time. "I think it's that time," yawned Gran as she and the moms helped the little bears up from the table. They sat them down by the fireplace as the daddies cleared up. Grandpa Bear leaned forward close to the little bears and said, "What a wonderful year it's been for this family, with 9 new little bears being born. We have so much to be thankful for. So full of health and happiness, we have lots to share with our animal friends. Here at the Grand Old Oak, we wish everyone a good snoring on this snoring eve, and a happy waking in the spring." "Good snoring and a happy waking in the spring," chorused the sleepy little bears. "Now I think it's time to carry all of you little bears downstairs to the big bear bed for a deep winter sleep." But none of the little bears answered. They were all sound asleep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 little bears are ready for bedtime. Their eyelids getting heavy, and now they start to yawn. They'll be asleep before too long. Curl up with your blankets, time to close your eyes. Time for little bears to say goodnight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 little bears are ready for bedtime. Their eyelids getting heavy, and now they start